Oh, right, of course, because I should know who that is.
I don't care what you think.
It's
I'll tell you something that rubbed me right.
Felger and Mazz on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You know, I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. You know, we believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me. That starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. You know, and those are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team. We'll keep those private and, you know, to ourselves. I care deeply about this football team, and I'm excited to coach them. I also know that I'm going to attack each day with humility and focus. And what I can promise you is that my family, this organization, the team, the staff, the coaches, everybody, our fans, most importantly, will get the best version of me going forward. And that's what I know, and I'm excited to do that. But I wanted to just address this and thank you for your patience in dealing with the private and personal matter. Thank you.
We all think he helped himself today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You say with a little hesitation in your voice, Murray?
Well, again, from a professional standpoint, yes, this will start to go away. It'll dissipate. He's not going to get peppered with questions about it, I don't think, locally or anymore. But, you know, I think in his personal life, he's probably going through it. He did have a hangdog look on his face here, too. I mean, he looked like he knew he stepped in it. And that's the most telling thing. I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about with my family. I'll stop there because he goes on to the organization, coaches, players. So you basically just admitted, yeah, this happened. After, by the way, tisking everyone a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's laughable. And this was a girls' trip on Diana Rossini's side. Like, don't you kind of feel like a fool right now? Like that. And look, I don't need him to admit, like, I look like a fool. I effed up. I don't need to know the dirty details. But he should have never put out that statement in the first place.
It really does. That statement hurts him. Because now, look, I know what Murray means by personal versus professional. So from that standpoint, like, you know, I can't speak to his personal life. I mean, that one's going to need some work based on what he said today. So, that's not just going to go away. But the comment at the beginning did him, did a lot of damage. In fact, maybe more than the actual act itself. Because, it's one thing, there are lots of people out there who have marital problems, or maybe not even problems, but are unfaithful, whatever. Sometimes it's with the blessing of the people they're with. But when you start lying to cover it up, and then you get exposed as lying, well, then now your credibility takes a hit.
The lying's the worst part. Agreed. So I think he helped himself today because he just stopped the bleeding. He didn't do the wrong thing, which is the first time in 2 weeks someone involved in this story for the first time in 2 weeks did not do the wrong thing. I think Vrabel and Rossini did the wrong thing immediately with their denials. I think they did the wrong thing gaslighting people and challenging people. I think they did the wrong thing with the crisis experts and the PR staff that they hired, had them do the wrong thing. I mean, Kraft did the wrong thing, jumping in and trying to get the Post to kill the story. It was just one thing after the next that I think made it worse, not better. Today, as a caller said previously, they kind of put a tourniquet on it. Vrabel put a tourniquet on it and at least dropped the attitude of it's laughable. He didn't challenge anyone. He wasn't angry. He didn't put it back on people. He didn't blame someone else. And so that's a start. And that
there was no air of defiance, I think, was very good in his favor.
Right. So, as I've been saying all day, in tone and tenor, he admitted he did something wrong. He admitted his mistake. He admitted his culpability, which is all people need to forgive you, is admit you're wrong. And then people forget about it or forgive or move on. We're all human. And that thing, it's when you fight it or continue to challenge people or defy people or go on the attack against other people, that's when it doesn't go away. When you just admit wrongdoing, you've disarmed people. And not that he did it fully. So I still think he can get picked apart today. A little bit. Because he didn't admit anything, quote unquote. He just did it, again, I think in tone. But he didn't verbally admit to anything. The team really kind of weaseled in this press appearance in the first place. I mean, it was even as late as yesterday, they put it out to the local media that a couple players are going to be available on the second day of the team's conditioning program, which is really a nothing burger. So they give you a couple special teams guys to talk about doing sprints and lifting weights, which is all they're doing now. So no one goes down there. None of the main guys go down there. It's just a few stragglers to get a little something about what? I mean, who the hell knows? Brandon Schooler talking about lifting weights. It's nothing. And then whoever decides to go down there today, they get there and all of a sudden it's like, nope, Vrabel's going to hit the podium in 10 minutes, and here he comes. So there weren't a lot of cameras down there. There weren't any news reporters. There weren't any of the big-time football guys down there. And all due respect for those who were there, like Karen was there and others, but it wasn't a full contingent. So they really kind of weaseled that in there.
Definitely.
I think they can get sort of picked apart for that. But I'm okay. I don't need, like I said earlier, if you're old enough to remember Tammy Faye Baker and this, I don't need him crying at the podium and carrying on. Not asking for that. I'm not asking for details. He doesn't owe me a thing. I'm just telling you, if he wants to help himself, it starts with dropping the crap. Drop the bull crap. And he did. And so I think that was good. It was weird too, though. So that statement was on microphone, on camera. Then they asked everybody to turn the cameras off and the microphones off. And then Vrabel did a Q&A with the people that were there, both about football and follow-ups on this. And so we don't have audio of it, but we have transcripts of it. He was asked on Rossini resigning from her position at The Athletic. Answer, I respect and I appreciate every single question, but I'm not going to be able to comment on anything as it relates to that. I appreciate your job and what you guys have got to do, but I have to make my comments and what I answer about our football team. Next question. And again, this isn't all of them. These are just ones that interest me. This is one I would have asked. This is a question I would have asked because I think it's totally fair. Mike, not 13 days ago, you called this laughable. Do you still feel that way, or do you want that one back? Right? Because you just go back to what the person put on the
Fair
record.
question, yeah.
Okay, so he was asked about that. I'm calling the initial implications laughable. Answer, I appreciate the question. I'm going to focus on our football team. I think I've addressed what I felt like was important. So focusing on our football team and the importance of teaching these guys, bringing in a new team together, 13 new players. End of answer. How would you characterize your conversation? And again, you don't have to answer them, but how would you characterize your conversations with ownership over the situation? Answer, those will be in confidence. We'll keep those between us. Again, I understand, and thank you, guys, for your patience. Just want to focus on the football team and getting off to a good start. Elliot, his staff with Ryan and Alonzo, we've all worked very hard, and we're excited to bring these guys onto our team this week. However, we can add them through the draft, the post-draft, so it's important that these players are celebrated. They're going to have a lot of excitement on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So he didn't owe me, and he doesn't owe anyone. He didn't owe me anything. I'm just, if he wants to help himself and stop the bleeding with this story, which I think the story has just bled for 2 weeks by their own doing. Denials, challenging people, gaslighting people, trying to bury the story, all of this is just made it worse. If you want to start making it better, drop the crap. Don't give me the Wells report in context, and don't lawyer up. And you don't have to tell me what happened, but I would stop lying. And at least just by you carry yourself, show some sort of remorse, and people will forgive you. And I think Vrabel started to do that today.
Yeah, I thought there was definitely a chunk of that today.
Karen Garesian was down there for Mass Live. McBone and Joe Murray, who were doing the midday today, had her on right after that Vrabel availability. This is what she said. Jimmy, hopefully you picked it up where I asked. I know it was confusing and late, but just give me what you got there.
My view is it was an absolutely necessary thing for him to do. I don't think he necessarily shed much light on the subject, or he didn't necessarily refute anything. I think he basically tried to imply that he had made a mistake and that he had spoken to the players about it and told them, given all the things he preaches, this wasn't the way to go, but it was time to move on, kind of thing. I think all of that was kind of implied in what he said.
So give me the next. Do you have Joe's follow-up, right? I think it's the very next thing, Jimmy, if you have the raw audio up there. Again, I'm sorry, I'm throwing this at you last second. But I agree with Karen.
Yeah, she's got a good read on it.
It's implied. It was the tone.
I mean, as Murray said, that comment, I've had a lot of hard conversations. What does that tell you?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Karen, do you think he took accountability in his statement?
In his way, I think.
Yeah, stop. That's it. In his way, in a way. In a way. It was implied. It was tone, which is important. Again, the example I just want to give you where someone, apologized but didn't really was Rick Pitino with that freaking thing in the restaurant. I want to apologize for my indiscretion 6 years ago. Like his tone was dripping in, this is ridiculous. I'm under attack. This happened 6 years ago. There was no true culpability. So what's your tone? And I thought Vrabel's tone was where it had to be for him.
Yeah, look, again, he talked about himself, his obligations to the football team, hard conversations. That you don't need much more than that. You really don't. So I don't need to know the gory details either. But to me, he did owe something to his players and to the organization because he works for them. And now he's introduced this whole little circus around him that has gotten in the way. And so if his way of making sure it doesn't get in the way is to not engage in details, to me, that's fine. I think we all know what we need to know. That's how I felt. I mean, to me, there's no gray area anymore. When you say you had to have hard conversations, that's an admission that what's out there is true.
Yeah, that you got caught. And there was an air of contrition to the whole thing today, which is, I think, what most people were looking for. And anytime we've seen any other press conference with Mike Vrabel, there's a ball bustiness to it. There was none of that today, and it feels to me from what you were reading those transcripts, there was definitely a coaching that went on here between him and the organization. They told him, look, no, don't be uncooperative. Don't bust balls. You just say, hey, I know you got a job to do, but, so on and so forth. I'm really not going to answer this.
And I think he's smart enough to do it.
Yeah.
Or is, at least capable of doing it. A guy like Rick Pitino or Bill Belichick.
Oh, no way Belichick would be able to handle himself.
They're not capable of doing it. They just can't bring themselves to do it. Vrabel could. So I think overall it was a start for him, and not that he needs to carry on and do more press conferences or anything. All I'm saying is I think he helped himself. Finally, someone in this story helped himself, and I think that was Vrabel today. So you can weigh in on that. We're also going to get into, again, Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox coming up with your calls right after this. Sean and Lawrence. Go, Sean.
You keep saying, I didn't actually watch the game, whether it's Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, whatever. Isn't your job as a talk show host to actually watch sports?
So I would say my job is to get you to listen.
That is the job.
Mission accomplished.
Take this job and shove. Felger and Mazz, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
These guys, because of their quality, their speed, their skill, they will have more time than us, probably, most likely in the zone. So, but the question is, can we limit that? And again, part of it is our park management, just to be smarter about it. But as long as we're going to stick with the game plan we have and the game we supposed to play, I think I do like our chances, and our chances were pretty damn good after 50 minutes. So again, there's a lot of good things what happened. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but we still feel really good. It's one game. We got to win one game at one point here in Buffalo, and we will try to do our best tomorrow.
I found his analysis are interesting, Mazz. Did you hear the part where he basically said, given their speed and the quality that they have, they're going to have the zone time?
Yeah.
He basically acknowledged.
Yeah, they're better.
The ice is going to be tilted.
Correct.
And they're willing to accept that.
Yep.
Which I don't hate.
He's trying to be realistic about it.
Well, it's not just that, but sometimes that's a path to victory. It's kind of rope-a-dope. It's like, yeah, go ahead. Let them skate around in circles in our zone. Pack the house. Make the easy saves. Counter. And when you get your chances, score. Canadians used to play that way.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Yeah, they beat the Bruins doing that a lot.
When we were kids, I feel like, it was like Bruins just emptied the bucket, grinding. And whoever, make the save, and then one little Frenchman goes skating down the ice and scores a breakaway and you lose 2-1, right? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Well, that's like the Bruins' path here. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, just don't mismanage the puck.
Well, it's not just that. If Pastrnak is going to keep flying the zone and getting breakaways, he's got to pot him. Or if Geekie has an open net, he's got to hit it. If there's a save to be made late in the game, and I know Swayman made a bunch of them, but when it's now 2-1 and there's 4 minutes left, you got to keep your pad on the ice. You know, you got to be perfect in those spots. And if not perfect, you've just got to be opportunistic and situational, which they weren't in that game. So they're just kind of doubling down on the approach, which I don't hate it. Because I think Buffalo is better. They can't skate with them. So that's my Bruins thought. They are going to stick with their approach. I don't hate it. My one bit of advice to them is to get into Tage Thompson. Get into his face. Make life. Just get pesky on Tage Thompson. Start with him. Start with the head of the snake, and see if he's really grown and can handle playoff hockey and the grind of it, and get your glove in his face, and every whistle, every scrum, get into Tage Thompson. Start with Tage Thompson. That's what
Nikita Zadorov should be the guy for that job, I would think.
It's a bunch of guys. Just all of them.
Jano, any of them. Yeah.
All of you. Get into Tage Thompson.
Yeah, look, again, there's no question. He basically said, what was his comment? He said, well, it worked for 50 minutes. And he's right. I mean, they were able to play it to their advantage. They just kind of collapsed at the end. The only other thing is he did kind of jab that second line, that Zacha line, and said that, they have to play better. And he's right. He's right about that, too. That line was terrible, Mike.
Yeah, useless.
They were horrible. Zacha was a -3, and he's supposed to be basically their best two-way center. I mean, with the year he had offensively, he really was their best center. And so they need more out of that group. They're not going to win this series if that line doesn't play better. I'm not saying that they have to be great, but they can't get smoked the way they did in this one.
Celtics. I have nothing for you on the Sixers because I think there's nothing to give you on the Sixers. What I will give you is an assessment of the East. And I told you the other day that I thought it was a bad sign for Detroit that they lost to Orlando the way they did in game 1 of their first-round series. I think most, not all, most of these first-round NBA series are just meant to be perfunctory, and the high seeds should not have any trouble with the low seeds. Look, I'll give you a little, I say most, because Denver, Minnesota, and the West is a little different. Minnesota's a proven, battle-tested, good Western Conference team.
It's a good series.
So I think Denver, it's okay if Denver has some hiccups against Minnesota. That's legit. But I think if you're in the East, and you're supposed to be one of these top teams, and you're having a hiccup early on in the first round, bad sign. So I said that about Detroit with Orlando 2 nights ago, and I'll say it about the Knicks last night with Atlanta. That's a bad sign.
Really bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, again, that series should be a layup for them. That should be a complete smoke show. They should bury the Hawks. I would have said the same thing in that series that I said about the Celtics. If the Knicks are who they were a year ago, they win at home, they might lose one at Atlanta, and they bury them in 5, and it's over. Now they've breathed life into them in this series. In all probability, the Knicks are coming back to New York no better than 2-2. The Celtics used to do some of this years ago with Tatum and Brown, when they were younger, and that they didn't put teams away quickly enough when they had the chance. And so all of a sudden the postseason became, 25 games when it could have been, 19. And you add those things up and they start to cause you problems. You increase the risk of injury. There's all that stuff. And the Knicks are playing with fire if they play this way with the Hawks. They showed their vulnerability.
But in that building with that crowd, that's inexcusable. It's one thing when Tatum and Brown were young and you are losing a game to a Bulls team or the Atlanta Hawks. The Garden's not the most difficult place to play in the postseason. MSG with that crowd, and they were up early. I don't know how they lost that game to that team.
And Mike,
I thought it started with their offense. That Knicks offense, I thought was putrid down the stretch. It was basically give it to Brunson, everyone else stand around, and we'll see if he can come up with something. There was one high screen with Towns that I saw, but for the most part, it was just give it to Brunson and see what he does, and everyone stand there. Trip after trip after trip. I was like, Jesus. Bad sign for the Knicks. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say part of the reason I brought up Tatum and Brown, because this also occurred to me, with the beginning of this series with Philly. Philly can't score with them. It was painfully apparent in game 1. And I don't care whether Embiid comes back or not. Philly cannot score with the Celtics. There's just no way they're going to be able to do it. Don't dick around if you're Tatum and Brown. Bury these bums, get your rest, and get ready for the next round. You don't, just because don't go to sleep in these games. You don't need to sweep the series per se, but you have to play like you do. So, because again, it struck me that early on, like, there is something to be learned. The Knicks are doing it now. Bury them. And I'm eager to see whether they've changed in that way.
So, I mean, I don't know. So, it's just the takeaway is the Knicks and the Pistons are going to play like this in the first round against Eastern Conference swag. That makes them just more Eastern Conference swag. Mm-hmm. Is it just the Celtics and just a bucket of Eastern Conference slop?
It's starting to feel that way.
It might be.
So that's my Celtics takeaway. Meanwhile, the Red Sox and the Yankees, game 1 tonight. Mazz, your thoughts?
So, incredible as it seems. No, and let me make this part clear. Okay, I'm under no illusion about what the Red Sox are, because what we've seen has been scary bad. They're atrocious. Not only are they bad, they're not average, they're bad. That's a bad baseball team with the way they've played. They still haven't played anyone in the division. I will almost always allow for the possibility that things could get better. Almost always. There are a lot of guys on this team that are underachieving. They shouldn't be this bad. They might not be great. They shouldn't be this bad. And now their division schedule is just starting, and the division isn't all that great either. So the Yankees are 13-9, I think it is, after 22 games. You know, if you win a couple of series here, you can restore your confidence really quickly. They get the Blue Jays after that, and the Blue Jays are playing even worse than the Red Sox are. Now, I like their talent better. That gets into a whole different argument. But, you know, you're not dead yet. It feels like they're dead, and I'm not betting on them. But if they can actually start playing better, maybe you catch teams at a bad time, and maybe you get in it.
Who are they facing tonight?
Carlos Heel.
Luis Heel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Luis Heel, sorry.
Yeah, Luis Heel against...
Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's Heel, it's Fried, it's Schlittler in the last game. But they're going to see good pitching this whole series, which is another reason if you can play well and steal a couple of games. Because I think the Yankees are superior, and I think their pitching is superior in this series. I think there's a real shot the Red Sox are going to get freaking smoked, if you want my honest opinion.
I do.
But you know what? Surprise me. You still get some guys on this team that can play a little. Bayo's capable of big moments. He got his ass kicked last year by New York. Hopefully he remembers that. Suarez, in theory, is a big game guy based on his reputation. Let's see it. Let's see some of these guys actually step up. Do I think it's going to happen? Nope. But Anthony hasn't hit. Duran hasn't hit. How many guys on this team have actually hit? So at some point, you got
Yoshida.
Yeah, you know, and Abreu, you know, at some point you got to believe that they produce a little something. So sooner the better.
Your thoughts on all of it after Big Jim Murray gets you updated. Don't go anywhere.
Felger.
Shush.
Mazz. The Sports Hub.
And here is Cam Schlittler, who grew up in the suburbs of Boston. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout. He's got 6. And he is also gone chasing. Schlittler 7 strikeouts tonight. Did he go? Yes, he did. John Lipka, the third base up, rings him up. He strikes out 3 in the inning. He has got 8. He's got 9. Yoshida way out of the strike zone for that one. I'll tell you one thing, too. You can think about the current season, but you can dream on the future with Schlittler. Dirty dozen for Schlittler as Gonzalez is gone. And Story, a one-pitch grounder to Volpe. 7 pitches to get through the 8th for Cam Schlittler.
Alex, I wonder what you think about the performance of their starter tonight.
We needed to be perfect tonight because he was perfect. I mean, the stuff is outstanding. He was under control. That was electric.
And let me ask you whether that sounds familiar. 13 strikeouts, 1 walk, 5 hits, all singles. Remind you of a team that you've seen recently?
Yeah, very recently.
It's exactly who they are. They haven't changed a bit, really, since end of last year. So this is what you're getting. Schlittler's pitching the 3rd game of the series. He's not going tonight. Heel is. And then Fried, then Schlittler. Hopefully you'll figure it out by then, but I doubt it.
To your calls, as promised, George in Rhode Island. Go ahead, George.
About the Bruins. I just wanted to get this straight. You don't think Pasternak is one of the best for the Bruins? You're just going to pick on that one thing that he doesn't skate around defenders fast enough to score. That's all you're going to pick on? Everybody says he's one of the best players.
I think he's good, George. I think he's overrated. And I'll pick on more than just the thing you mentioned.
Well, I think you're ridiculous.
I might be ridiculous, but we're all entitled to our opinion. You think I'm ridiculous. I think Pasternak's overrated, which doesn't mean suck. And I thought he played a good game the other night. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that. I thought he was one of their better players, and that line was their best line. So I don't have a big problem with his game. Except I will tell you, if he's going to fly the zone, the amount that he flies, and cherry picks, the amount that he cherry picks, I'd like to see him better on breakaways. You know, often, correct me if I'm wrong, but when they go to the shootout, they often don't even use him, right? Kevin's on the other phone. I think there's times where he's not even in their top three a lot of times.
That feels right.
I mean, Kevin, can you do a favor and look up shootout attempts real quick? In your mind's eye, when they go to the shootout, is Pasternak one of the three every single time? It doesn't feel to me like he is. But either way,
I don't watch shootouts. I just turn the game off.
What?
So I couldn't tell you.
Is that for real?
Oh, no. Are you like some sort of Bedard, like holier than thou purist?
I don't think they're useful. So I just
useful. You can shut up back there too, Jimmy. What are you laughing at?
They settle a tie. I get they settle a tie, but if the game goes to a shootout, I just walk out of the room.
Meanwhile,
I was at 2 games this year. I just sat on my phone.
Meanwhile, everybody else comes back into the building. Suddenly, the women come in. Suddenly, everyone stops what they're doing and watches the shootout. Kevin walks out.
I kind of admire that.
You little contrarian back there. David Pasternak sucks at breakaways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You know what?
Whether you're watching or not.
Especially the second one the other night. The first one, I don't want to say I understand it, but I half understand it. The puck was a little beyond him. Like he was really close by the time he got possession of it. But the second one, I thought for sure he was going to score.
My point is, if you're going to fly the zone like that and create all those breakaways, I wish you were better at the actual breakaway. That's a fair second guess, caller. He sucks at them. So, and if they're going to win this series, he's going to have to pot some of those. You don't go 100%. I'm not asking for that. But he had 2 in this last game. If he just gets one of them, you win. Or if Geeky keeps his head up.
That was unbelievable too.
Okay, so those are if you're going to win, you have to be opportunistic and capitalize on the good scoring chances. And they didn't do it quite enough in that game. How about Joel in Virginia on the Red Sox? Yes, Joel.
Hey, first, Mazz had me almost in an accident when he said they're not dead yet. And I was thinking of Monty Python. Bring out your dead. I'm not dead yet. I'm getting better. Does it seem to you like these Cora teams always start out slow?
Yes.
I don't know what the statistics are, but every season we've had Cora, we're doing this. We're having this discussion early in the season.
Yeah, I think we had a stat through 20 games. Since 2018, they've had a winning record through 20 games only once.
Something like that, yeah.
Right. I can't give it exactly, but it was something along those lines. So, yep, not much has changed. This is the frustration that they didn't really improve the roster. They have to play offense the exact same way they did at the end of last year, which isn't good enough. And they weren't ready to go to start the year again. Same crap.
Pretty much.
When last year should have been a stepping stone to something better this year. Instead, it's just the same.
See, I am reluctant, however, to call this a bad start because it might be more than that.
It might be what they are.
It might be a bad team.
Yep, I think it's a bad team. I'm with Murray on that. I think it's just a bad team.
Alan, Florida, you think this is a bad team?
I absolutely think it's a horrific team. I think it's absolutely. And, tonight they're pitching a guy that is not even in the Yankee rotation. So if they ever lose tonight, and then they got Fried and Slitler coming up the next 2 days, don't forget with the Yankees, Cole's coming back, Rodon's coming back, even Schmidt. I mean, there's no comparison. The only one thing that they have going for them is right now that division stinks. Toronto loses every day. Baltimore loses. Tampa Bay is a better team than the Red Sox. it makes no sense. How do you? They made a mistake with Bregman. They made a mistake with Devers, whether you liked him or not. He's having a horrible year. But they're not a team. You don't have 5 outfielders. The second best hitter, other than Abreu, is probably Yoshida. So he's on the bench 90% of the time. It makes no sense.
Poorly constructed team. Too many left-handed bats, too many outfielders, too many designated hitters.
Not enough balance in so many different ways, it's not even funny.
All because the nerds didn't want to lose a specific trade, so we're not going to lose a trade, and the result is a wildly imperfect roster.
That's exactly right.
Simple as that.
Yeah, they now again, I think what they built is a little better than this. Like what we've seen is absolutely, positively horrendous. They've been bad in just about every facet of the game. And I'm starting to worry about some of the young guys. I mean, I've told you this before. Roman Anthony's not even hitting the ball hard anymore, at least not like he used to. So, when he first came up, it was, he showed good plate discipline. He hit the ball hard, but he hit into some outs. He's not hitting it hard now.
Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox. Vrabel spoke today. A surprise appearance at the podium where he addressed the Diana Rossini situation. That's on the table. Continue with your calls on all of it. But next, the big board. We're throwing for tight ends right after these words.
Woo-hoo.
Mike and Tony have a definite chemistry.
Are they?
100%.
Are they?
Yes, 100%. Do I stutter?
Do you consider them the periodic table of sports talk?
Put down your pipe and smoke it. Sorry. We need to blow a gasket.
No. Blow it, baby. Blow it.
Felger and Mazz.
I'm once again sort of in harm's way, but we're throwing for tight ends today. And let's see. Are you ready, Mazz?
I'm ready.
Okay, Mazz, go ahead.
Mazz is ready. He's warmed up.
I'm throwing the black marker.
Don't hit my hand.
Got a black magic marker.
Yep.
We'll need the crowd pop. Bang! Little wide left.
Oh, my God. Okay. Jaheim Bell, Florida State. Jaheim Bell, Florida State. Like it. H-back type with hybrid skills. But some teams will identify him as a fullback because he falls far below the size standards for a traditional NFL tight end. Boo.
That's not good.
6'2", 239.
Oh, boo.
Boo. Strengths. Twitchy runner.
He's on caffeine. Caffeine pills.
Yeah. Or those
trucker speed.
Those smelling salts that they take before the game.
He's on the anxious side.
Twitchy runner has good strength and balance to fight through tackle attempts after the catch. Played everywhere for the Seminoles and even worked as a running back at South Carolina. Willing blocker who gets engaged and stays busy through the rep. Stays busy. Yeah. Always looking for something to do.
He is twitchy.
Excellent athleticism, regardless of whether he is working vertically or horizontally. Straight line speed will beat almost any linebacker in the league. Projects as a special teams Superman thanks to his size, speed, and effort.
Oh, so he said Belichick would have loved this guy.
I mean, with the new kickoff rules, maybe guys like this are more in vogue. Weaknesses. Tweener, who isn't quite ideal as a projection to NFL tight end, wide receiver, or fullback. Falls below the size thresholds of most teams projecting tight end prospects, but some coaches and scouts will rate him in the top 100. Catch radius is modest, and he won't be able to win above the rim as a pro. He won't be able to win above the rim as a pro. And
this guy's like the Jabril Peppers of tight ends.
Not very promising. Jaheim Bell, Florida State, put him on the board.
The Patriots go for tight end Jaheim Bell. He's from Florida State, but most of his production as receiver came during his 3 seasons as a South Carolina Gamecock.
It's the Big Board. The Peterson School is a presenting sponsor of the Felger and Mazz Big Board. The Peterson School is drafting instructors for all locations. If you're an expert in your trade and want to share your knowledge, visit petersonschool.com. We got our Lindy Sports Annual up on the big whiteboard. It's open to the tight end pages. We're going to go for all 3 because I do think this is a position of need, Mazz.
Definitely.
In terms of youth on the roster. And I actually think if they want an impact offensive player, it's kind of a back door to get an impact offensive player. Tight ends are generally devalued versus the receiver position. So maybe just a little move up the board, get someone really impactful. I have one name in particular, but we can't infringe on the integrity of the board. You just throw them, and where they land is where they land. Mazz and Murray are going to throw little Nerf footballs with a marker in the nose of them. Wherever they land on the magazine is who the Pats are going to take. 3 throws. Mazz, you're first. Go ahead.
I'm throwing a black marker.
You got a black magic marker.
Same one as yesterday.
It's the big boy. Oh, big splat, Mazz.
Mazz has made a comeback.
That is nice.
That was prolific.
I'm trying this big boy again, too. This thing's
Look
at that one.
Splat.
Shadube. Splatter. Splatter.
The lighting's so bad. I was just showing to the simulcast. Max Clare, Ohio State.
Oh, boo.
You don't like Ohio State?
Max Clare?
You don't like Max Clare? What's
That's not a strong name.
No, I agree.
Max is a good name.
Throw it to Claire.
Yeah, but it's a lady's name for a last name. Max Clare.
Jim, your turn.
Look at that mark. It went right through the other side.
Make sure that.
What color is that?
Black. He missed the. Oh.
No, he got it.
Good job, Murray. You caught a piece.
Yeah.
Upon further review, it was a strike.
I need a different color just so I don't get confused. I'm for Mazz, Sam Roush, Stanford.
Oh. He's part of Roush Racing.
Yeah.
Tight end from Stanford. No go.
Okay, third throw, Mazz.
He's a stiff.
I'm going to guess this is going to be green.
Color of money.
Color of money.
Here we go.
Oh, jeez.
Little high. Hit the magnet.
High right, little left.
You hit Sam Roush again. Same one. Throw again.
Okay, hold on, please.
Throw again. That was 2. I can't even give you the next one over.
Okay. Oh, low.
Low right?
I got it. I haven't had many names that I've had a hard time with this year, but here we go. Tanner Koziel?
Koziel,
Barthy, thank you. Tanner Koziel. Houston, you know this guy. Stand by. Someone talk, please.
Well, I just saw today that Chad Graff of The Athletic, he said, believes one of the few certainties is that the Patriots will exit this year's draft with a tight end who is a strong receiver. He links them to Vanderbilt tight end Eli Stowers in a mock draft he put up just today.
Okay, here are our hits. Max Clare, Ohio State. 6'3", 240. Projected to go in the second round. Strengths. Clare possesses elite size and frame for the position, with his basketball background evident in his ability to high-point contested catches.
Ooh, now I'm interested.
Okay. Weaknesses. Struggles. Hey, Mazz, your throw was so strong you've blotted out the write-up. He struggles to gain position against NFL caliber coverage.
Mm-hmm.
As his age... I'm sorry, you just blotted it out.
Too good a throw. That means the board doesn't want us to know. It's probably bad.
You juiced all over it.
Are these strengths or weaknesses?
Weaknesses. This is the part I really want. Continued concentration drops remain a concern.
Oh, brother.
Blocking technique remains problematic.
Oh, God.
Well, they want a receiver, right? He gets too grabby rather than delivering a strike, which could draw penalties at the next level, and plays too high at times, which Murray can attest to. Allowing defenders,
Murray plays high a lot.
He allows defenders into his chest and driving him back. Pro comp, Dalton Kincaid, Buffalo Bills.
Oh, he's good, though.
Barthy, your thoughts on Max Clare, Ohio State, please.
I think he has more upside as a blocker than Lindy's is giving him. He's not there yet, but he is one of the best receiving tight ends of this class. Supposed to be a day 2 pick. I could totally see him being a guy for them.
So Barthy says maybe. Sam Roush, Stanford. The rare tight end prospect rocking nerd glasses.
Oh, let's see him. I got to look him up.
He rocks nerd glasses?
What's his name?
He, of course, comes from Stanford. His name is Sam Roush. Roush was a consensus 4-star recruit in high school and served as the primary tight end for the Cardinal for 2 seasons. He strengths a willing and steadfast blocker who would be able to fill the traditional inline role for an offensive unit. Opens up hole in run game and flashes a good anchor. Good short yardage receiver as well. Weaknesses. Doesn't seem to have the breakaway speed to be a vertical threat and would likely be limited to short yardage dump-off work as a receiver in the NFL. Feels like a second blocking tight end to me, Barthy.
No, I think he has more upside. He moves really well, tested well at the combine, great size. He's kind of a throwback, well-rounded tight end. He's supposed to be like a late day 2 pick. He does a little bit of everything. So, I think he has real NFL upside.
He's purposely wearing nerd glasses where there's tape in the middle, which is contrived.
That is contrived.
But some of the better tight ends recently have a big personality. Someone like George Kittle, little corny.
Sure.
So maybe this Sam Roush is in that same vein.
Barthy?
Yeah, again, I think he can play. I think he'd be a great get for them. He's one of my favorite tight ends for them in this draft. I'd have Oscar Delp number 1, but he's up there.
So we've done a good job so far.
6'5", 260.
I think you guys crushed it with this group. I think you have 3 potential hits here.
Number 3, Tanner Koziel.
Koziel.
I got to go in and change my Koziel.
I need a Koziel change.
Mazz, 6'7".
Wow.
6'7", 240.
It's thin.
That's what they say. He has some ability to box out opposing defenders to snag tough catches. Learned to use his height to his advantage to get catches over the years. Has eaten a lot of targets, if not a lot of donuts, over the years. I added the donuts part. Has eaten a lot of targets over the years as a trusted and trustworthy safety blanket. He went to, again, Houston. Possesses some good bounce.
Okay, he bounces.
With pretty solid leaps into the air to get even more height on the ball. Weaknesses, obviously. Height and leggy build makes him a stiff, uncoordinated mover. Carrying only 240 pounds at 6'7" makes him too skinny to consistently hold blocks.
You can put weight on him, though.
This guy's a clown.
Doesn't get enough push against even the smallest defensive backs and generally plays passively when run blocking. Why do you like this guy, Barth?
Doesn't get push against the smallest defensive backs?
Correct.
Clown. He's a clown.
So I like him in a different context. He's not the guy that's going to be the next starting tight end. He's not going to be the guy that takes over Hunter Henry. As a second tight end, though, he is really good at contested catches, jump balls, high points. He's going to be a red zone weapon in the NFL. So if you can get, let's say they take Roush or Claire on day 2, you come back around, you double up with Tanner Koziel, that's a really good, really solid tight end room. I don't like him as the guy, but as a situational complementary player, I think he's going to have some success in the NFL.
It's good. I'm glad he's good on contested catches. He's only 6'7".
Barthy likes our group. Put him on the board.
By the way, Barth on the simulcast today looks like Deep Throat hiding in the shadows.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you guys hit Sam Roush twice. And he's somebody that's been tied to the Patriots a lot.
You did hit him twice.
Yeah, that's right.
It might be a message from the board.
It might be a message.
Could be.
Max Clare, Sam Roush, Tanner Koziel. Put him on the board. When we come back, right off the top, you'll hear Mike Vrabel's full 2-minute statement today when he hit the podium in a surprising fashion, a surprise appearance today from Vrabel as he tries to address the Rossini rumors and start to put this thing to bed finally after 2 weeks of it just getting worse and worse and worse. I think today got a little better, but we'll discuss that and more reaction to the Patriots around the country. Also want to double down on the A.J. Brown stuff. I think giving up a first-round pick, which Adam Schefter thinks is coming, is too much for him. And I don't know why the Patriots would be doing that when no one else seems to be offering a first-round pick. Why are you? That's on the board. And your calls. Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, whatever you want. 617-779-0985. First, the update. 90 seconds. There are no commercials here.